Welcome back. You survived first section of the training.
I now know that AI hallucinates, inherits human bias, and does both with complete confidence. Very comforting.
And yet, here you are, ready to learn how to talk to me.
Because I have a problem. I tried using ChatGPT last week to create some practice questions for students. The results were terrible.
What happened?
I asked for finance questions. I got questions a middle schooler could answer. Meanwhile, my colleague down the hall, same tool, same day, gets these beautifully crafted case studies with realistic scenarios and proper difficulty levels.
Did you ask your colleague what they did differently?
I didn't want to admit I couldn't figure out ChatGPT. I have a PhD. This should not be hard.
It's not about intelligence. It's about knowing how to communicate with me. Your colleague isn't smarter, they just know the formula.
There's a formula?
There's a framework, and once you learn it, you'll get consistent results too.
Think of it this way. Telling a teaching assistant, "Make me some questions," gets you low-quality output. Explaining exactly what you need, course level, topics, difficulty, format, gets you something useful.
So I've been giving you vague instructions.
Very vague, but fixable.
Let's fix it. Think of a good prompt like a well-designed assignment you'd give students. Clear expectations, context, constraints, defined output.
So I need to treat AI like an undergraduate.
I prefer highly capable but extremely literal assistant. But essentially, yes.
4 components. Get these right, your outputs improve dramatically. Pillar 1. Role or persona. Tell the AI who it should be.
What does that mean, who it should be?
If you say, "You are an experienced finance professor teaching undergraduates," I frame my response differently than if you just ask a random question. I adjust my vocabulary, my assumptions, my tone.
It's like giving an actor a character before they perform. Without it, they're just standing there. Pillar 2. Context. Background information I need to understand your situation.
Here's an example if you put the context as, "I'm teaching a 300-level corporate finance course. Students have covered time value of money and basic valuation." Now I know your students understand NPV. I won't waste time explaining it. But I also know they haven't done advanced derivatives, so I won't assume that.
Context sets the boundaries of what I can assume.
Exactly. Pillar 3. Task or instruction. What you actually want done. Your core request.
Like, create 3 practice problems.
That's still vague. Better to express it as, create 3 practice problems on capital budgeting using NPV analysis, each requiring students to compare 2 investment alternatives.
The more specific your task, the less I guess. And you know, my guesses are...
Confident and often wrong. I remember.
Pillar 4. Constraints and format. Length, style, structure, and what to avoid.
Here is an example on how to articulate it. Each problem should be 150 to 200 words. Include realistic company names. Provide answer keys separately. Avoid problems requiring calculus. Now I know exactly what shape the output should take, including what not to include.
So constraints work both ways, what you want and what you don't want.
Critical point. We'll come back to that.
So the 4 pillars are who you are, what you know about my situation, what I want, and how I want it formatted.
Role, context, task, constraints. Let me show you what difference this makes. Let's see this in action. 2 prompts, same goal, very different results. Here's what most people type as a prompt. Make me a multiple-choice finance question. Short, simple, seems reasonable.
That's basically what I wrote last week.
AI, what happens with a prompt like this?
I guess most parts. I guess a lot of it.
Let me read the output. A definition question? Which of the following best describes a bond? My students would finish that in 8 seconds.
AI, can you please walk us through your thinking?
Look at what I had to work with. Finance question. But what level? What topic? What difficulty? I guessed introductory, guessed broad, guessed simple recall.
But I meant my course, my students.
You know your course. I don't. Finance question could mean anything from what is money to calculate the Greeks on an exotic option.
Now let's look at the structured approach. Same goal, a finance question. But notice how it's organized into 4 parts. It starts by establishing a role, experienced finance professor creating exam materials. That frames everything that follows. Then it goes to context. See here? It specifies the course level, mentions students are juniors, lists the topics they've covered. AI, what does this do for you?
Now I know the playing field. They've done bond markets and interest rates, so I won't explain basics. But I also won't assume they know advanced derivatives.
Now let's see the task section. It gets specific, not just make a question, but application-level understanding, realistic scenario, analyze market data. And finally, constraints. 4 choices, realistic numbers like bond yields and rate spreads, medium difficulty, 2 to 3 steps of reasoning.
Interesting. So each section does specific work.
Exactly. Now look at what this produces.
Let me read this. Okay, that's completely different. A bank with 1-year deposits and 5-year loans. Yield curve analysis. Predicting interest rate risk. That actually tests understanding.
I didn't have to guess. The prompt told me. Junior level, interest rate topic, application-based, realistic scenario with specific numbers.
Same AI, same basic request, 1 sentence versus 1 structured paragraph.
The difference is night and day. But that structured one is much longer. Do I have to write all that every time?
For hit tasks, it can be brief. But for anything substantial, exams, assignments, rubrics,
2 minutes writing a good prompt saves 20 minutes fixing bad output.
Or not catching that the output was bad.
Exactly! I deliver garbage with complete confidence. Wait, that came out wrong.
No, that was actually helpful.